Wow. Yeah, this is Academy of Tone number 62. Is it 62? Is it 72? I forgot about it. Something with the two. 72. See, it's wrong on my script. Somebody writes some bullshit, which is me, of course. Today's special guest is Euge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been an exciting time to invite you because this was kind of a the story. I have to tell you the story from my side, okay?
Yeah.
There's YouTubers and there's other YouTubers and there are some guys testing my stuff, and then there was a video by this gentleman over here, and he was so emotional about this fucking AMP1. I could feel that he was impressed. Yeah. And this impressed me so much, I had a hard time to realize how great your video was. And then I thought, you know what, I need to get in contact with you. And I don't know how I did it. Somehow did I...
Alex Landenberg. Cyrus drummer knew you, and somehow that...
connection worked.
Because I was actually talking to Alex about this
amp.
This stuff. We were discussing some other things, and he was kind of like, yeah, I know the guy. I was like, fuck me. Really? And then I guess you had whatever, and then you called, and hey.
And
like,
here we are. Here we are.
And the funny thing is that because I thought that the video was kind of like not a very good review because I was just so excited, but I guess that's why it was so good because I was so excited.
I mean, for me, when I watch videos, there's people that talk and talk and talk, but the way, in general, you present stuff, I can feel it. I can feel the gear. I can feel you even as a player, and I mean, this is what's touching me. And I was impressed by that video, and from that video, that was the starting point for me to check out more of the stuff that you've done. And I watched other videos that you've done, and then I understand, okay, this guy, he's kind of this 80s, and I found, I designed this amp for people like you, and then suddenly there is you. It's like, man, he understands what I was doing, and I think it's what was the catchy thing for you? I mean, you were raving about your big boy, which is
bad boy.
Bad boy. Sorry,
big boy.
It's so big that the tone is killer. We will do A/B comparison soon, because we have it here.
Yeah.
I'm very proud that you brought that amp here to the studio, and we can compare it versus anything in this room. But let us know how this came along with you. So you borrowed this? And
I borrowed this because I've been doing. I'm a Finnish guy, but I live in Switzerland. So there's this music shop, Musics.
In Switzerland?
In Switzerland, close to where I live. And I actually, because this amp actually blew, because this has been blown so many times, and I called another guy in Switzerland that I knew that, hey, do you know any good, because this thing is again like, the fuses popped up and whatever, and I know a guy, Eric Studer from Musics, and it's actually quite close to where you live. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So I took the amp to him, and then we started talking, and he knew my channel and myself, and he was like, kind of like, hey man, you want to do some videos? I'd really like to hear what you think about this and that, and then the manager of Musics was into it, so then I'm just been borrowing gear from them, and then when I got this, because I got a bunch of amps along with this, and I did what I thought like real amps first, because I was like, that's small, it can't be whatever, but then when I was like, fuck me, because I needed to am I connecting things wrong, because this is like loud as like F, so and it was immediately there, and that never happens, because well, I do that on my videos. I compare it to this one, but whatever amp, whatever gear,
Yeah.
it's about it's this one because that's the reference. Because you have to have a reference, otherwise you're shooting in the dark. So that's my reference, boosted with bass super overdrive.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, yeah, damn.
Very close.
And it was like immediately because I like simple stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it has to. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's put the bass on 10, like basically, you know, kind of like 800. And then, okay, so someone did that, and I was like, this size, it's this, and you know, it's not the, it's about the sound, but mostly it's about the feel, because I need to feel, and well, I felt, I still feel, because it's
a real amp.
It's real amp. It's analog, real amp, analog. It's, man.
See, and this made me so happy because I put my heart and soul into that thing to make it a real amp. And of course, the silver one or the Mercury one is more for the vintage style, which I personally play more. And then when it came to the Iridium, I thought, okay, let's get into this other territory where we have the tighter bass and the more in the face punchiness. It's about the punchiness. And when you play, the feeling is so important because the way you touch the guitar, I can tell you dig in. You have to touch. I mean, it's like you mean it. Yeah. When you play, you are a physical guy. You know, it's like no prisoners. It's like forget it. You know.
Yeah, that's where the sound comes from. You know, amp just amplify that, and this one does it fantastically. Yeah. But it's it's here, like you know.
Of course, yeah. I mean, and this is what you told me when other people play your gear. It's like they think there's not enough gain.
Yeah.
Because the gain is in the hands.
Yeah, they're always like, okay, man, turn on the gain and the overdrive. They're on.
Yeah.
They're like, what? I was like, you know, the harder you play, the harder you sound. Sure. If you play like a lion, it will roll. If you play like a lamb, it will bah.
Yeah. This is the message. I mean, and this belongs to kind of every music. If you listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, this guy was digging in.
Yeah, and Stevie Ray was one of, when we play, you know, because when I bend, I hit all the strings. Like, I really hit. That's totally from Stevie Ray, you know. Doing this and just
with
controlling that's where the Stevie Ray's tone. It's not about the pedal or amp or what. It's
the playing style and putting all the energy behind the strings. Yeah, I'm totally with that.
Yeah, I'm a big Stevie Ray. It's Steve. Man.
Yeah, same here. I mean, who else can put bam, 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 you know?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and talking about the Stevie Ray Vaughan, here's a. Cool. Yeah, so see, even the guys that play hard rock, metal, or whatever you call that genre, they are inspired by the energy of other genres.
Yeah, I consider myself really just a blues player on steroids. I mean, everything I do. It's basically way I think is that, you know, blues. It is that
raw energy,
Yeah.
which is not over sophisticated. It's more, how you say, a spiritual thing.
Yeah, and
It's-
you know, like I play, I was maybe a little excited, but I mean, it's not the. I've always said that, you know, you shouldn't be afraid of the wrong stuff and whatever, because that makes the, when you hit, I mean, I can play like perfectly and in tune, and that's just like boring. It's like, you know, okay, the bend went, you know, but then when you do it, obviously you have to play it in tune and stuff, but it's more the feel than what's considered technically perfect or, you know.
Anyway, I mean, you know, when you listen to music, you get the feel, and only other musicians will judge you by the technique and say, I've heard that maybe that wrong is this note is maybe a bit sharp or whatever. Forget it. I mean, this is we call it Musikerpolizei, the musicians police.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to some like live stuff that I you know, sometimes I'm like, oh man, maybe I should dance a little bit less and focus on the guitar playing because I'm having fun.
But this is the thing. It's about having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I just played last weekend, and you know, people want to have fun, and it's more important that the emotion is right than the technique is right.
Yeah.
So, you know, focus on the real deal, which means, you know, be there as a musician, be focused.
And imagine if there's two guys, one is playing, you know, like this, and you know, fucking doing the windmills, you know, this stuff, and the other one is doing like this.
Yeah.
Which one, you know, the audience thinks is better guitar player? That one who shoots from a hip and, you know, does windmills or whatever. It doesn't
winner.
matter if it's like.
It's the winner.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not saying that, you know, you shouldn't. Everyone, you know, has their own styles and stuff, but that's what touches me when someone is like, you know, like.
If you express yourself, I mean, of course, there's other styles of music where you can be very soft. And
there's time and place.
Absolutely. Yeah. But if you go for it, and if you make your speech on the guitar like you're preaching, it's like, hey guys, listen to me.
And you know,
that's the thing.
If you play like this and really sharp, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not playing, you know, you're not putting a feel. Maybe that's just how you feel. But the way I play, I'm like, you know, I'm chopping wood. I'm
sure.
Like, you know.
I saw that, and this impressed me because I think I can see that kind of side in your personality, playing as a human being, totally authentic, whatever you do in the videos. And this is why I think it's so much fun to watch your videos. So for the guys that don't know your channel, it's Euge 230 volts.
It's actually Valovirta, my last name.
Valovirta.
Yeah, but Valovirta.
Yeah.
It's the power that comes from the wall. In English, it means lightning power.
Ah, Valovirta.
Yeah, lightning power.
Okay.
So I'm huge lightning power.
Oh, cool.
But Euge is not my real name, but anyway, I've been called that since kindergarten. So that's where the 230 volts comes from.
Okay.
Lightning power, Valovirta.
Nice. You know, when I thought your name first, I was reading Valvo because this is a tube brand, but it's Valovirta.
Yeah, Valo is lightning, and Virta, it can mean power, but it can also mean like a stream. Like lightning stream, but lightning power is much cooler.
Okay, no, I get it. Nice. And this is proper Finnish?
It's quite rare Finnish name. There's only like a few families that has
that name. Like Blug, nobody else calls Blug is very rare name in German.
Oh yeah.
I know them all personally.
And me also mostly in Finland, but and many have thought that, you know, you have cool artist name, but I know it's my real name.
Yeah, cool.
Well, the last name is real. Euge is my nickname.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So.
Very cool. By the way, talking about Finnish guitar players, I know a bunch of them, like Mika Tyske, Mr. Fastfinger, and you know him too?
Yeah, I played with him, you know, done cover shows in Finland.
And then
amazing guy.
2 weeks ago I played with Ben Granfeld, and you know him too?
Yeah.
So you are also from Helsinki.
Yeah.
So this is where Ben is from, and Mika is more from...
He's from... I forgot but I think more like on the countryside, at least where he nowadays.
Yeah, because I saw his pictures of the house, and it's like somewhere in the woods, I would say.
Yeah. Really nice home studio there. He has like, or not home, like real studio, but it's, So
how is it for the Finnish guys to survive the winter? I mean, I've been there in summer, and it's beautiful up there. sometimes you have a bit more mosquitoes that I want. I don't know how in Helsinki it wasn't that bad, but
well, there's a reason why there's so much metal bands playing dark minor key music that comes
because
from
of the
Finland.
winter.
Yeah, I mean, what else you do? You play minor stuff, but I actually like that, and especially Lapland, because in Lapland, northern Finland, the sun doesn't go down at all on summer, and winter it doesn't go up at all. So the only light is a moonlight.
Fuck.
That's where
that's hard for me.
That's the
that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not used to it, but if you live there. I mean, I haven't lived in Finland in almost 10 years, but that's the real different seasons, and I love, especially I'm from Helsinki, which is southern, but I really like Lapland. We were there on summer with my wife, and we're actually going there on winter again because it's only moonlight.
Okay. Wow.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, impressive. I think from this kind of cultural background, there's also some energy because you have, as a human being, it's an influence. If you meet somebody like from California, like some beach boy guy, easygoing, the temperature is always kind of nice, and there is no real problem in this world. But I mean, I can imagine that up there in the north, life is different, and you have to find a way how to accept it or adjust to it or make something out of that with yourself. And that is kind of forming your personality in a way. Yeah. And that's probably why there's some great stuff in that area. Like I found some people in like northern England, they have a certain energy, and the same like in Germany. I mean, like there's rough people or having at least a rough phrasing behind the outer package. The inside is always human. It's soft. It's somehow soft, but it's like how to deal with the world. The world transforms you. Yeah,
and it's because when I was in Shining, quite dark metal and stuff, and we were touring in the States, and we had this guy called Rock bus driver. He used to drive Linux Squirt, NWA, all these things, and he said that he doesn't drive any rap or pop bands anymore. He likes to be the driver for metal bands. The tougher band, he likes to drive more. And I was like, why is that? He said, you're the mellowest and coolest guys ever. Because you put all that energy in the music, and then there's never no problems. The heavier the band, the easier, more easygoing guys.
Exactly. Hey guys, this is also my experience. When I started with my wimpy pop and blues friends, sometimes they get on my nerves. It's stuff like that. Nice people everywhere, but some people they think they are so important or whatever. It's kind of exhausting. But the more metal guys I start to meet, I can totally get that message because all the metal guys that I met so far are super sweet and super soft in a way. Yeah. And when they are on stage, totally different animals. Yeah. But I think it's a relief from that bad. Well, it's not bad energy, but from that that kind of energy, and then you're cleaned. It's like you had your therapy on stage.
Yeah, I mean, if you do like half an hour, it's out. It's like then you're just like, can we listen to Elton John, ABBA? Yeah. That's usually the music we listen to, but Elton John, like really like Carole King, Tapestry, awesome stuff. And
the warm, nice music.
They were like, why don't you listen to metal? Well, no, I play that. It's. So
I totally get it. It's similar with me because usually I listen to soft music when I listen to. Sometimes I need it, but it's rare. I rather have the energy on stage than to torture myself. Yeah. But that's the thing as a musician. When you're a listener, they like to listen to the music. Yeah. That's a different.
I obviously I like hard music too, but especially on tours. Yeah, it's usually something.
I totally get it.
Speaking of ABBA, the new 2 singles, they're really good. I mean,
I have to check it out.
Because it was like I felt like a kid in a good way, and I could hear the vocalists it wasn't auto-tuned. It was a little bit out, and but I could hear the person singing, real drums, everything. It wasn't perfect, but it was alive. It grew. It was like music, and that's like, man, because that's nowadays music. It's I mean, I guess the songs are in a way good, but the production is like everything is too perfect. I don't like perfect because it's like there isn't such a thing. But if you're trying to aim that, in my opinion, it's never gonna succeed. When it's natural, pretty good. That's where something's pretty good, and then let's leave it that.
Yeah. That's where the music lives.
Yeah.
So, what are the band projects you are doing? First, you have released 2 solo albums. I mean, start with you as a solo artist, but it's not maybe the biggest thing, but so you've done 2 solo albums.
I've done 2, yeah. The first one I did like 3. It was released 2018. That had like different vocalists and a couple of instrumentals. Kind of my friends, from Finnish bands that I wrote a song with this guy and with this guy, and then did a couple of instrumentals. And now this Shooting from the Hip, which I released this year, that's completely instrumental. And I did everything by myself, everything. Recording, playing, mixing, mastering, everything.
Okay.
That's a solo album.
That's a true solo. I have one album like that too, which is called the 21st Century Guitar, 2000 and whatever I did it, and all the rest was band stuff. But I think as a solo artist, you should do one like that, because then you have a different awareness of the rest. So congratulations on that one.
And it was and because previously I've never had the skills, but now because of COVID I've learned so many new skills, like mixing and stuff, because I've always been interested, but it's always been an excuse to I have something else, mix this and that. But now I was like, I have time, I'm gonna dig in and spend the 10,000 hours or times doing that. I've been mixing old albums of mine, some other band stuff, and slowly getting better at it. And, I mixed a solo album. I was like, if I'm not happy, I ask someone else to mix it. But I was like,
give it
pretty good.
See?
So,
I think it's good to see both sides of the game, as a player, as a producer, as an engineer.
Yeah.
It's always good to have different perspectives on the same thing. And you learn in every discipline for another discipline.
Yeah.
So what I know from player, I can apply to anything else I do. So, and the bands you are playing in?
Saira, it's the main thing, the Swedish supergroup, or Swedish, 2 guys are from Sweden. Alex is actually from here, Landenberg.
Yeah.
Fantastic drummer, and then myself, Finnish guy, and we're actually doing the kind of pre-production songwriting for the next album. We started like a couple of weeks ago, really doing that, and I've been kind of doing the pre-production at home, and hopefully we get it, all the songs ready by the end of this year probably, and then Alex will play real drums, and I'll record, and we'll record the rest of the stuff. And we have no schedule, but we just started
to start the album.
To start write, or we've been writing all the time, but really okay, this is good, this whatever. But that's the thing. And then last year I released this Red Wolf kind of Finnish all-star band, but that's not completely Finnish, because the drummer Adde Larsson is from Gothenburg, Sweden.
There's something about the Swedish-Finnish connection.
Yeah, and Adde is a fantastic guy, fantastic drummer, and he's been filling in on some tours for Alex, because Alex plays also in Camelot. So when Alex isn't, then Adde and
he's the sub.
Yeah, and I was actually about to do a solo album, because Adde said that to me, Euge, whenever you're doing a second solo album, I want to be the drummer, because I really love the first album. Then we were about to do that, but then the riffs were kind of really metal and heavy, and I was like, I'm gonna ask Sami Elbana from Last Society to sing, and he was like, yeah, cool. So just send me the songs, and I sent him 10 songs. And he was like, okay, which one of these you want me to sing? I was like, all. Like, what? I thought that because he thought that I'm doing like solo album, like, and then he sang, and then I thought that, well, this is more of a band effort now. And then Janne Joutseniemi from, Stone, I used to play him in Suburban Tribe, another Finnish band. We were pretty big in Finland back in the day. So I asked him to play bass. So then it was like, okay, this is a band album. What are we gonna call it? Then I came up with the name Red Wolf, and
that's now the band.
And then now that's we haven't been playing any shows, obviously, because
COVID doesn't allow it. Yeah.
And we put that out, and I've been actually writing a little bit for the next album with Adde also. I've been sending him stuff. He has a studio in Gothenburg, so it's constant
busy
music
and developing.
And then when I had 10 or 15 Red Wolf songs we're gonna put out, and then maybe solo album, and Saira is that's kind of the main, because this is like a touring band. We have a major label deal, and tours hopefully in the future also all over the world.
We'll come back. Yeah. So okay, you are the busy man in 2 band projects. You are doing your YouTube channel. You released your 2 solo albums. Maybe we have a little look on your favorite gear. I mean, here we have like 2 of these yellow toys here. So one is plugged into my rig, and the other one is on your pedalboard. And since this is kind of your show today, I asked you to bring another one, and you said I have 5. So what's the story about having 5? I mean, is it like, this tells me this is your go-to pedal, right?
Yeah, SD1 is the first overdrive I ever bought.
Yeah.
And Marshall JSM 800 is the first tube amplifier I ever bought.
So
and I haven't found it a reason to change that.
I mean, maybe you're just lucky, but maybe you also had a good taste, because sometimes, like myself, when I bought my Strat, I was 17. I sold 3 other Strats to be able to pay for it, but I knew what I wanted, and today I'm totally happy because I'm still together with the guitar after decades.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really know what I wanted, because back in the day there wasn't any internet or anything.
Yeah.
So Musa Maailma, this Finnish music store that I've been working, they Kai Saarbrücken from Musa Maailma is the guy who got me the ESP deal and the signature guitars and everything. I was a young guy. I had like Valve Estate amp and some cheap Les Paul copy with some cheap pickups, and I went to the store. I didn't knew them then, and I said like, I would like to have something more powerful, punchy, less noisy. Then I would like to have a good like tube amplifier. And they said that, well, these EMG 81, 85, these are kind of like could be your thing, and then this old JSM 800, but you would need a super overdrive, like overdrive. Okay, cool. And the magic words were like, this is actually a similar gear that Zach Wild uses. And I was like, okay, yeah,
that's me.
Okay, so I because I didn't really, there wasn't internet. I didn't know what anybody was using.
I'm very impressed about a knowledgeable sales guy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're just lucky, but this guy had some understanding.
Yeah, that's why I've stick. It's
great
shop, and
great shop.
I still, every time I'm in Finland, I visit them, and they've helped me so much and get me deals with the ESPs, and it's amazing. And I guess we connected, and the sales guy Petteri Hirvonen there, he actually, when he heard me play, he was like, I can see you have a talent, and if you want, I can teach you to be even better.
Oh.
So he teach me, because I used to hold pick like this.
Okay, and he said that, have it like that.
Have it like that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So the camera.
So that's
yeah.
And it was weird, but I just kept holding it like this, and now it's natural. So, and he taught me some, these, Stevie Ray, this like, play like you mean it thing. It's, big. I owe a lot to Petteri, because he's I call him Uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle H, because he's a.
And there's a few important moments in your journey to become whatever, a professional guitar player or whatever it is in life. And if you meet the right people at the right time, you are lucky. And I'm always feeling very sorry for people that are not getting there. Of course, you yourself have to be prepared and open to do something yourself. Nobody can help you if you are a dumb, stupid guy. I mean, then I can't help these kind of people, or nobody could help me if I would be, not able to understand and follow. But if you are an open guy that has like a vision of what you want, and somebody else can see that, then it's like, I got something for you. Try this. For instance, when I was young, I had Peter Weihe. You don't know him. Is kind of the German.
I know.
You know Peter Weihe is a session guy from Hamburg.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm confusing it. Okay.
He played Boney M. He played everything, and I was like 20, and he came to me and was like, "Boy, you play these strings. Trust me." End of story. And I still play them. Okay, first I played them because Peter told me to. Then I got used to them, and now I like them. And it's part of my tone. And this guy was important to me. And also, when I started to be amp designer in a professional way, he kind of criticized very honestly. And it's like, "Hey boy, this thing is shit. That's kind of okay, but here's the real deal." And then he showed me his Marshall, Fender and Vox collection as the real high-end session guy that was touring or going to a studio with a Volkswagen bus and his own technician. So the technician was setting up the gear before he even came to the studio. So, I mean, this guy is a maestro, but also and hey, when you listen to his playing is also Meister. But anyway, these people, and he took me honestly, and he criticized me, but this was so good for me because he actually knew exactly my weak point, and he gave me guidance. It's like, hey boy, you want this, you do this, and you don't do this. And this was the moment where I understood, and then I started to have my first ISO cap at home, so I could crank the amps. I wouldn't do any compromise anymore. I had more amps, and I bought the Voxes that he had and the Fenders, and got the mods that he had and all that stuff. But this was raising the level to be in the same league that he was. And funnily, 10 years later, I was playing the gigs that he played 10 years before. I joined bands that he was playing the studio albums for. I was touring with bands that he played on records. So that's important, even if it's rough.
And Petteri, again, he's amazing quotes. He was really honest and brutal. And he produced two first God's Plague albums. The band I had in Finland back in the day, we did four albums. And I don't remember what the first or second album, I was like really playing, and man, and then Petteri is like, Euge, many people play like that. And I was like, so you mean, do it again.
Okay. Challenge.
That's always a good, nice to say, there's many people who play like that. So I sucked. Yes.
Nice.
And another cool was our bass player was like, was playing that. Do you like playing bass? Yeah. Well, then you should go and learn it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was an amazing guy. And he was this typical Finnish, don't talk a lot, but when he talks, it's to the point. There's no bullshit, and that's one of the reasons I am the player today. Petteri, all those legendary Uncle H quotes, it's still, and I still, when I record and play, and if I have the thought that actually many people do this, or then maybe I should put something that's.
I totally get it. I think it's these are the moments in life where you get to the right path, and the rest is your job again.
Yeah.
But we can be lucky that we had teachers like that in a way.
You know, I've used other amps and pedals, but I always
come back to
this. It's like coming home.
Yeah.
So
and the way you play, and it's one thing. I can hear why this makes total sense to me. Let's check that stuff out a little bit. So, okay, maybe you can show again with and without the SD1 what it actually does for you.
Yeah, so let's take the delay also. The basic sound is just... As you can hear, there's not much gain.
No, it's more focused.
And this just silences it up and adds a little bit sustain, because it's now I play it quite easily.
Yeah.
I can feel it and hear it, but if I would have like tons of gain, no,
it is over the cliff. It's you don't have to fight anymore, and you don't feel it anymore, because it's like you have if we would do this, I mean, you would win anyhow. But it's like, you know, I would be win. At least I have to fight against it, you know, to feel it.
Yeah, it's maybe a bit harder to play, but I feel.
It's connected. Your energy connects to the way. Kind
of like work on that.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if I play.
There's some magic.
There's that thing, and that's. Many people, when they play through my rig, they're always surprised about that where's the gain, and because it sounds like there is more gain than there is, but because I'm, you know, like we saw, I'm digging, I'm hitting it. So it is. When I play at home, when I write and everything, when I practice, I always play just without anything. That's what I've been doing since I was a kid, because I never thought that. Let's say I was playing like some Zakk Wylde stuff, but I wasn't sounding like Zakk Wylde. But I never thought that it's because I don't have the same gear. Because first I didn't know what he was using. I always thought that I'm just not as good as a player. And then when I sound good like this, I can have the sustain, everything ringing.
Then you will sound good with good gear.
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter, because, you know, if you're a bad player, or, you know, it doesn't matter the gear, you know, you won't sound good. But if you're even though you have the best gear, but if you're a good player, the gear doesn't matter. You will sound good no matter. It's just personal, what you like, like what amplifiers your sound differently. And that's the thing that I'm surprised that so many people that I talk thinks that's you're just saying or whatever, you know. It's easy for you to say you have all these, you know, expensive gear, but it's really it's that. And to this day, when I practice something or something new, I always no amps, nothing, effects, just this, because then when I master it, I play it cleanly. It sounds like punchy, like, you know, it will sound good. You know, it doesn't matter really. At the end of the day,
and I do the same. You know, it's like, this is not legato or anything. I can do the same legato as well, but
Yeah. Like, you know, all these. And then, if I really want to challenge me, I use like this kind of sound. This is like very unforgiving sound.
Which is now the volume on the guitar low.
It's like on hardly low, but it's like really good. But this, you can make this. If I feel that it's, then it's, you know, you don't need that much anything.
Yeah. When you play this, I can hear some precise picking. And what about Al Di Meola? He's Mr. Precise Pick.
Yeah, man, Al is. Yeah.
You know that song? Okay. Yeah. Some
That was a
home studio.
You know, yeah. I mean, it's fun.
It's fun, but okay. Where's my noise coming from? Okay, this is. I used the super overdrive as well, as you could hear at the end.
Yeah.
And here is another example. You know, Aldi Meola and this kind of music, it goes well together. And to be honest, any style I learned, I can use in another context again.
Yeah.
You just transform a little bit here and there, and then it's good. You know, so it's always worth learning some new stuff.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, I really don't know the song. I know the song, but I've never learned it. But you know,
same here.
But you know, this was our version.
Sure,
Definitely.
Okay, you know what? We have questions here, I'm very sure. I haven't read any of these. Welcome to Shredder City. Shred City is a good one. What else is fancy stagecraft? What Wednesday night in Saarbrücken? Okay, this I think that the song was called
Mediterranean Sundance.
Yeah, on the something night in
Night in San Francisco, the live album. Aldi Meola, Paco de Lucia,
Aldi Meola,
John Laughlin. Was it
Paco de Lucia?
Aldi
John McLaughlin and Aldi Meola.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was and somebody called it. This is like Shred Night or Wednesday night in Saarbrücken. Saarbrücken is this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Zach Wild is important to you, of course. Yeah. And John Sykes.
Yeah, Sykes is Dimebag Darrell, and Eddie Van Halen is huge.
Yeah.
That probably you don't hear that much. I mean, on the solo album, I guess it was the first time that I really let my inner Halen. But I've liked Van Halen years before I even started to play guitar. I just liked the songs, and I didn't have any clue. I just thought that that's the
cool.
Coolest. That's cool. I mean, Frankenstein. That dude is the
This guy is cool. I mean, and the whole
And
sorry,
then when I started to get into guitar playing, and I was like, man, that guy is not just cool, but he's just like one of the best, if not the best, rock guitar player ever. King Edward.
It is so inspiring, so positive energy to listen. Eddie is fun. It's fun. It's about fun.
Yeah.
This guy goes on stage and is like raising the bar of fun immediately. It's like, wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of what, maybe that's where that also mine, because I like to dance, and I'm just having fun. Sometimes maybe a bit too much on the stage, and I forget that I'm here to actually play guitar. But that's because Van Halen is definitely, but obviously Zach and Sykes and Dimebag, those guys, and in a way, those are like Steve Ray. So Gary Moore is huge, kind of bluesy players. I've learned the sweeping and stuff, but I never really used that because I don't like how it sounds that much. That I'm more into
the meaningful notes.
Like that. notes. But anyway,
no voice.
That's
the feel.
That's guitar playing to me.
Yeah. I totally agree.
That was, obviously I'm not Gary Moore. But that's just my way of doing that. But that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's that.
I had my Gary Moore moment when I watched him on a live show in German television, Rockpalast, with the Corridors of Power album. Man, I was shocked. It's like his red 61 Strat, and that was one of the reasons why I got a 61 Strat as well. I had Gallagher, I had Gary Moore more than anybody else, and like 2 of them had a 61 Strat, so 61 was the year.
Yeah.
And Gary is one of them, and I had the pleasure to meet him twice, which was funny, but big loss because I mean this guy, he had the passion behind the notes.
And that thing with Parisian Walkways, live when he does that, and he was like that's the if you have a good note and a good touch,
that's all it takes. This is all it takes.
And that one note when Gary plays that in Parisian Walkways, that equals all the million notes that myself or anyone's playing. That's the note. If I had to choose one note, I would choose that note. The high E.
Yeah.
Gary Moore, Parisian Walkways.
Okay.
That's it.
So that's a good answer to a question nobody asked, but it's the magic question. What is the best note for you on the planet? I keep that question to other players and see what they will answer. Let's check with 2 crazy guys having fun and rocking out. Okay, well done, boys. Also one of the Band Geek podcast, your signal chain, please. Are you using real caps? Okay, now we talk tech. So we had we didn't have the pedal board yet, so we had the SD1. Give a quick one.
The signal chain is tuner.
Okay, tuner is very important. No tune, no fun.
Yeah. Wah.
Yeah.
I use wah on my left foot. Mm-hmm. That's why it's on the left side, even though it's kind of the first effect.
Yeah.
Phase 90. I like phaser to be before overdrive.
Okay.
SD1. Chorus.
Okay.
I like the chorus to be in front of the amp.
Yeah.
Then into amp. Then on the effect loop I have the Wampler booster, which is a transparent. It just boosts the volume a little bit.
Yeah.
And the delay.
So, and the booster is just to have a second master volume
kind of. Second master volume, like if I feel that I'm not hearing myself, because we use in-ear with Saira. Our front of house guy takes care of the, all the boosts for lead volume, but that's just for me if I feel that. Usually on solos I like to hear myself a little bit more, because I use only one channel, one sound. I do everything with volume and this is the boost. It's just, sometimes you might want some extra feedback, so this is just the built-in boost you have in there, and the reverb is, I don't really.
You don't care because the way you grew up,
it's. I've never played with a reverb. Obviously, on the albums when you mix, you add. But I mean, if you're playing in a room like we are, that's room reverb.
Yeah.
I don't need any
extra.
Yeah. And the delay is usually. Well, now I've been having it, just to get the little bit depth. But usually that's only for leads. If I feel, if I'm on the another side of the stage, and it's. No delay. Yeah. It's the same one sound.
Yeah.
That's I do everything with the volume and way I play and kicking this on and off.
So basically, it's like the rig that you always used, which is like your
one channel 800.
800 one channel, SD1, and then a few pedals just for fun.
Just a few moments, but
it's not essential. It's just fun moments. It's like the last 5%, 90% or 95% is just pure amp at pedal guitar.
Yeah, it's SD and amp.
Yeah,
and
that's the concept of this pedal board. Give us a real brief run through. I know the people want to hear it.
The signal chain, the cabinets.
We forgot.
We forgot, because.
we're using the recording out, but without the built-in speaker simulation. Instead of that, you have this one.
This is the new neighbor iconoclast, which I started to use back in 2017 when I made, or we collectively, when we founded Saarbrücken, and started to show that we don't want to rely on renting amps and cabinets. We want to have the same sound, and I want to have the same sound no matter where because in Shining we used real old school amps. And you know, when you fly in somewhere, you can't take your own gear.
With you.
It's always a rented backline, and it can be good or it can be
bad.
Like really, really bad. And I've played, I don't know, hundreds of 800s, because that was on my
list.
deck writer. 800 or 2000 or Plex, whatever, Marshall.
Yeah.
But
what you also noticed is that 3 different 800s sound different.
Totally different, yeah.
So, and this is like, consistency is something that you like to have as a, professional player when you go on tour.
Yeah, so I can have my tone. It doesn't matter where I go, and so yes, and
this is why you have this cabinet simulator.
Yeah, it's a cab sim, because we play with in-ear. So there's 2 cables. These go right now. They go to that mixer over there,
which is what you hear.
Yeah. But on live they go to our monitor desk on the side of the stage, and there whatever cable it's called, they go to the front of house, and then they mix. I hear it in ears. And this, I mean, it does the job like really well. It's not obviously the same as real speaker with a negative feedback and stuff, but it's like totally.
It works.
It works.
It works.
I'm really happy. I feel the punch, the energy, no questions. So that's the thing. And what's cool about this is that, because now we have
a speaker load,
but
we can unplug it.
I can unplug it and use this without. And then what I do, because with a speaker load, you get the negative feedback, the rumble and stuff. So now it's a little bit thin, but this knob here. By turning, it says mids, but it actually does more.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see the green dots, because this is kind of the settings when I'm playing without a load. This is great, because old school tube amps you can't play with without
it doesn't
a load.
work.
And then when I put
the speaker in.
Is it 8 or 16?
16. Get for the 16. Can you see?
I should.
I know where it is.
I don't have glasses.
Okay, no, this is the correct one. Yeah.
Okay, so then now it's totally different, because
the speaker changes the frequency response.
Yeah, so now it's now what I need to do is to get it like more mids, but it does. But now it's not like emulating the speaker responsiveness, because now the actual speaker is
there as a load.
There. So the amp behaves
like it usually would do, and this can be adjusted, which is perfect. I mean, that's a very
and now it's actually, I would tweak this a little bit more, because you can go inside there. But I have dialed in the way that it's
perfect.
It's out. I don't have a load, so that's the way I have. Because there's a software thing where you can determine the power amp sag and compression and whatnot. So this is dialed for that. But I could also, if I would use a light cabinet just to monitor myself, get a feedback, then I would dial this a little bit differently, so that because the sound guy, would have the option to, maybe he would like to use a microphone, but usually they want consistency. If you mic a microphone, on the stage, I can't count how many times I've, stepped on it, and then, the sound guy rushes. He's like, what's the problem? Man, dude, you get kicking that microphone. So it's that way. It's safe. It's safe. It's always consistent. It doesn't matter if it rains or. Because that also humidity affects how cabinets behave. So it's the same.
I totally have the same way of dealing with this stuff. So I'm going direct for many years already, and I threw away the mics for live, and I double checked with my sound, with my Blue box, and I found out that this direct sound is better on the PA than mic'd up cabinets.
Yeah.
Period. I've tried it several times. One comment on the Blue Box is what you are doing with this kind of mid control. When you guys plug in the speaker through on the Blue Box, there's a switch inside the socket. So when this is plugged in or plugged out, this does similar things. So I changed the kind of internal EQ of all the speakers when a speaker is used or not. Because you have to adjust, otherwise it sounds shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, my concept is to be the simplest speaker emulation. So you just connect it and it works. This is the more advanced version where you can load in stuff and go further. There's many ways to get a good tone, but the phenomena is the same.
Yeah,
So
and the reason why we chose this, because when we had the production rehearsals with Saira, I had several others because I've never done this before. Let's go direct. Yeah. And I didn't have this. I had a Friedman pedal, which is pretty okay, like preamp style pedal, directly into this. But again, real amp is real amp. So then we tried different things, and our sound guy was like, "What's that? That works. That works." And he was like, "Don't
touch it.
Don't change anything.
Yeah,
I like that." I was like, "If it's good for you, it's good for me." Because I mean, he's
the
guy who's responsible for the audience here,
and the audience pays you.
The audience pays me, so I was like, "Yeah, because cool." So that's the. And I tried the Blue Box. It was great, but I didn't actually know that what you just explained. And this was also true because the sound guy, he said that he wants to have two signals. So
all good.
If I'm playing live, he can't maybe do panning, some delay stuff, whatever. Yeah. So when he mics a cab, if he mics it with two, just to get that, so he can play with the sound, have more ups. And I don't have any idea what is going on there. I mean, sometimes if I forgot to put the delay on the lead, he put delay. So I mean, with these amps, people been asking that where do I put the delay? I don't have a delay. I don't have anything. It's SD. And then I tell the sound guy that, hey, if you feel putting delay on my solos or whatever, do that. Yeah. I'm bone dry.
Yeah, sure. Old school. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So that's the signal path we had. Maybe just make a few noises of the pedal so we know what's going on. That's this pedal board, that's your rig.
Yeah, and like I said, this boost is just, just to have little extra sustain, but
it's not needed for your standard.
And reverb is, that's basically, because what is cool about this, when you turn on the reverb,
you switch the gate.
The gate. So I could actually, do the.
Without cutting the notes.
Without cutting and that's why I have the delay like after in the loop, so it doesn't cut the.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's only if I have my Gary Moore moment, my Parisian walkways, I probably hit everything and then just, yeah man, dig this one note. I mean, I know it's not Gary Moore, it's me, but it's still that one note.
It's there. It's there. Okay, so somebody wrote a one-note samba, but this is no, this is the one-note ballad.
Yeah.
Okay, you brought your Holy Grail GSM 800, the bad boy.
The bad boy.
So, I have put that into my switching system. So now we can listen to everything here, and maybe you guys are curious. Let me start. So this is this amp, and I switch off the delay and I switch to the I switch off the reverb, so we don't know what we are hearing. And this is so. Can you unplug the cable just to show? This is the bad boy.
Yeah, and it's because this is. It is insanely loud, but it's like at 0.5.
Yeah.
Because people usually watch your settings, but in 800 it doesn't mean, because this amp, it's 0.5. It's like your normal 800 on 5.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really go.
More
when
than
it's 3, it's absolutely madness. And if I dial it more, it will blow up.
Yeah.
I've done it, so
don't do it.
How loud is what's happened?
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on, and the preamp it's now at 6, but that's again, if I turn it up, it's like
muddy. It's not
it's noise.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like your normal on 10, and it's not muddied. It's just
standard.
Many amp guys let me open and check, and they're like, there isn't really anything unordinary, but it's just strange because how this behaves, especially the master, and it's like it doesn't make sense. Because you can't play this quiet. It's
yeah. I mean, this is I have those old vintage Marshalls, like you have this 800 collection nerdiness.
Yeah.
The same with me and plexis and 50 watts. I had a phase. I had 10 50-watt plexis. And then I went into my 100-watt phase and I had 5 of those. And then I sold a few again, and
I had 5 800s on most, and then I sold the 3 and kept this and the 85 one, which is, it's actually same when it comes to the master volume preamp. I don't know what it is. It's made for Scandinavian markets. Maybe they did something wrong at Marshall, but
it doesn't matter. If it's good, it's good.
Yes.
So all magic. Let me do 2 things. Let me try your amp and the other amps, and then I give you the cable and you do it. So because two guys, different gear, because that's the thing. We have so many different people watching us, and it's like, see how things are. So this. So when I listen to this amp, it sounds totally organic, totally warm, totally... Okay, now I put in your favorite pedal, the... The tightness in the bass and still having that organic chunk with that wooden quality.
Yeah, that's the woodiness, and this has the least amount of low end on my amps. The 85 with the EL34s, and this has 6550s, and the EL34 is more, and the Zakwad has lots of low end.
Yeah.
But on this one, it's just in the right place. It hits you in the chest, like.
Yeah. And
there's no and
no, this is your tone. This is
it's like
here, right in the face, in the chest.
In the chest.
Okay.
Like, if it's too low, I don't like gut, I don't like face, I like chest.
Yeah.
Again, not that much.
Killer. Okay, let's switch to another amp. Wait a minute, there's some beauty in this amp. It's not exactly the same, but if you don't have the AB, it's pretty close.
Yeah, yeah.
So this, I guess, this is what happened to you. You had it on the switching system, and you had this and this. And
yeah, and it was because the feel it's really close. I mean, this is unique. This has the high that
endless
stuff.
Yeah,
that
rings,
really,
sizzle, but in a nice way.
Yeah, and none of the other my 800s they don't have it.
Yeah,
they're actually, in a way, I guess you could consider they're like maybe better and smoother, but there's just something about it's lots of highs and that, and it's noisy as F, but everything is in the right place.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
I know, I totally understand why you are so excited about it, and me too. So, but okay, what else we have?
What's that?
That's my Marshall, my modded Marshall.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is heavily modded.
Yeah.
But it is based on a Plexi. It has so many changes. There is not a real 800 thing, but it can do a lot of things. And we try to see where we are here. And the funny thing, it's like the bad boy is still.
That's really close. But this is
an amp which is it is a Mercury edition, but it doesn't exist on the market because that's a modded thing that I've done for myself in that direction.
Yeah.
The thing is just when I heard you with your sound, I thought, okay, let's get this one. and see how close that is. Then you play that thing and you went, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
I played that before we started to film. I don't know how long I played, but I was actually like, that's even like, 'cause it has that
on top.
Yeah, that top.
Oh, wait a minute. Your socket gets loose.
Oh, okay. So I was so excited that
Yeah.
these things happen.
So wait a minute.
Too much gain.
It's a bit.
The Mercury or Bad Boy? No, what? I can't. Yeah, that's too much gain, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I give you.
Less.
Give me one try. Maybe I suck now, but I will do something. So this modern channel is modded, okay?
Okay.
All the rest on the amp is standard. I do something bizarre. I play now on the vintage channel, and I do some other settings. Can you play? What's this for you? What is missing? It's not the same thing, but I want people to understand. The chest is not at the right point for you.
The chest, it's a little bit loose.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's a vintage channel.
It's in the belly.
Yeah. The other modification, this mod is in the right place.
Yeah. It's still.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I was just checking. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can go back for this so we can compare. Yeah.
It's more now. I feel it's more up. It's like
Yeah.
It's kind of it's yeah.
Anyway, the point here is what I'm trying to say or to show is that my nanotube technology, whatever, gets you excited in a way.
Yeah,
it's like.
I mean that.
If you leave me the bad boy I can do exactly the thing. I can get so close. I mean, you know, this is like a coincidence.
Yeah.
I made this amp, and you were excited, and if I have that amp as a reference, I can get 99% close, and then it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go back. Maybe we start with the bad boy.
It's the
Organic.
yeah, that ha. There's that
Yeah.
Marshall mid ha, and the low end is like. And the more you dig, it's kind of like. That was bad boy.
No.
No.
Play.
Yeah. What?
And wait a minute.
Fuck me.
And now the settings, because I was checking, somebody wanted to know the settings of this. You'll be surprised. Middle position, middle position, middle position. You know, the lousy setting of them all. Gain is on 5.5 or 6, which means like almost middle position. You know, so the only thing I've done here was the tone control, which is now on 2 o'clock. And that's it. And I switched back and forth to bad boy.
You switched?
Yeah, sure. I switched all the time.
I didn't notice.
Okay. No. I can do. Can the camera show the switcher? Can we see the switcher in a way? And you play, and then I don't know if this is.
Bad boy.
No, it's still here. And man, I'm getting so confused. I start to dial in this amp while you're playing this amp, and you think you play this amp. You know, fuck.
So put the bad boy now.
Okay, this is the bad boy. Here. Plug so you can prove. Yeah, that's the truth. That's all. So,
yeah.
Okay, and this is.
Yeah, and now this is a little bit darker. It doesn't
Yeah.
have the
Okay.
character. Is really, I think the only, it's kind of,
The extra highs.
yeah, but the feel is
the same.
Is the same, but
Yeah.
this is special because, like I said, this has that
endless
like,
silver shine,
yeah,
shininess.
like
I know.
The other Maidans don't have it.
So we are on this one now. So it's pretty good. You know, I'm not saying I have it 100%, but give me your M.
But that's because when I do this,
Sorry.
this really, I really dig it.
Yeah.
It does the same. Like,
Yeah. The dynamics and the is there.
Yeah, the harder
Yeah.
I pick, the more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's.
It can be mean, yeah. And this is the M.
Yeah, so that's why, you know,
Okay.
the video, because it still surprises me, because when you do like this, I didn't notice, but if I know what I'm playing through,
Yeah,
I
sure,
notice.
sure,
But because I wasn't paying that much attention, because it's all about the feel, how I feel. If I feel connected, if I get the coin,
Then you can do your thing, and that's the
Yeah,
most important thing.
yeah.
And here's the difference. I have a problem to play modelers because they don't give me that feel.
no.
I mean, they sound probably great.
Yeah.
But if you're a physical guy like you and myself, I have the same thing. I have to fight with my guitar.
Yeah.
And it's like, that gives me the feel, and that makes me the musician I want to be. And that's why I founded BluGuitar. Otherwise, there are beautiful products out there, but they don't deliver what I want from these bad boys
Yeah.
in a small package. That's my job.
Yeah, and that's because I mean, plugins and stuff. I've
Yeah,
used
sure.
like on the albums, and Softube makes great, and they sound like I can in a mix. But digital, it's never the same. There isn't a connection. You don't get the and yeah, and man.
Well, this is why I designed the amp, and I'm so happy that you can really cherish it.
And because I honestly thought that I was playing with this one all
Yeah.
the time. I was like, okay, then put that like.
Well, the good thing is when this blows up, you have a spare amp that is almost as good or good enough for you to make you feel happy.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
And the whole thing is that now I have the fucking bad boy with me everywhere.
Yeah.
On tour, I don't have to anymore like think that, man, I wish I would have the bad boy or whatnot, but
It's
now
there.
it's there. It's
Yeah.
not kang.
Yeah, and the good thing about my amps is they are so similar. If you have another one straight from the shop, from the box, I promise you, you cannot tell a difference. Of course, inside the Iridium range or whatever, because the production tolerance is so fucking minimized by the way we use the technology. When we design the amps, all the resistors and especially the capacitors, when we make our hand soldering for experiments, the heat changes the values. So when we go to production level, we have to recheck everything to be 100% sure that this is what we want it to sound like. And then when production is running, we have the manufacturers of the components. They are so clever. They have like a 5% tolerance or 10%, whatever, and they go to the value like -5%. That is the cheapest to make money. So we have sometimes the higher value without and deduct the 5% to be on the perfect spot. And once we are there, hey, today's manufacturing in these components is so fucking consistent, because when the thing is soldered, it went like through a machine that applies a certain temperature, and it needs to be exactly that temperature. So we know.
Do you know what? I don't understand anything you're talking about.
Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
All I can say, you open a box.
Yeah,
with
the end it's
and you open the next box, and they sound exactly the same.
Yeah, well, that's
the only thing you have is the tolerance in the potentiometers. And we already have stereo ones, which uses 2 in 1 for 2 reasons. One is they equal out each other, so there is less tolerance. And the second is one, in case one would be killed, it would still work.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is all I learned what we can do. And this is, of course, applied to the thing, because it's not really much more expensive. It's a few cents to have a stereo instead of a monopody, and this is what we're using here. Blah blah blah. Doesn't matter. All I'm saying is, open the box, and this is universal power. 50 hertz, 60 hertz, US, UK. All that stuff. You go to Japan. You go.
So I can.
I have been to Australia with tube amps, and in Australia, long landlines, and they had 260 volts. Tube amp blown. Because, other countries, it says 230 or maybe 240, but it's 260 because they have over voltage. And this thing takes any voltage from 90 to 260 and kind of transforms it in exactly the same voltage for the circuit, because it's a modern power supply.
So it's kind of like a converter in a way that you can.
You plug any socket on this planet where there's some juice coming out.
Some Valovirta.
This is you. Okay, this is the Valovirta. And it will sound exactly the same. If you have a proper old tube amp, old school set, it will sound different.
Yeah, I mean it's those, because sometimes in my studio, depending, I don't have a. I'm actually thinking of getting one, because it's good. I mean, it affects the tone. If you get a right amount of, it's perfect. And sometimes I'm like, man, what's, and then it's just like, maybe there isn't, because the power is inconsistent. So that's actually on my shopping list, because I used to have a good one, but it's somewhere. But now when I have a lot of amps and studio gear, it's one thing that's on my to get a consistent voltage.
This is for the tube amps. With this, it's not needed.
Because
it's kind of built in already by nature. So anyway, this is a modern concept, and this I think this is kind of exciting to hear. And by the way, we were using the Blue box with my stack 1970, and today, since we are more into metal, this mic position is more to the bright side. Usually I do it darker because, me, the bluesy guy. But, today we had a different position here.
Because I like...
In your face.
Again.
Which is like more to the center. And this is what we heard now.
So, and in a way that your sound, when it's softer, it's kind of alone. It's fuller and better. But I'm aiming for the,
It's never. I wouldn't call it better. No, it's different. Because I do different things when I play, and so I need different. Like you said, it's about the chest. I want that too, but I had to get my Strat and blah blah blah. But then I rely on the same kind of principles like you. I have to feel the energy in the body, connected to the strings, and when everything is at the right place, I can play like I forget what I'm using gear-wise or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in the music. I'm lost in the music. And that's the same for you. So everybody, and that's the good thing about we as different players and whatever, we all need slightly different things. And therefore we need slightly different guitars and slightly different amps and slightly different settings and cabinets and whatever and whatnot. But the point is, all I'm saying is it existed and it's killer. You know, I'm totally on the same page like you. My job is just to spot that stuff and bring it into a new format that we as professional players don't suffer.
Just say when you're ready, you can have this. If you can really nail.
I can nail it.
I mean, then I mean, and because so many people have tried to buy this from me. I've been offered serious, like quite significant amounts of money.
Because it's, you know,
like, but it's like there isn't a price.
Sure.
I bought this. I paid.
This is, man.
In euros, I think 200 or 300 euros. Because that was the time when high gain amps started to come. Everybody was getting high gain amps.
Yeah, like.
I think I was like, man, what the fuck? So these, I got these really cheap. Cause it was like, no, there's not even enough gain. Because I was like, well, up to me there is, and it's the best amp in the world.
Absolutely. And I mean, same with my collection. When I bought my amps here, I was doing demos in music shops, and then it's like, oh, what's about this old Marshall here? How much? Oh yeah, it's a customer, blah, blah. I give him a call and I made an offer, and then I get a black flag, but this is like 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you can have it, 700. And okay, maybe there's a cash machine around here. You know, sometimes I spend more money than I made for my demos. But the shopping tour,
at least the shopkeepers, they were happy. Like
they loved me for two reasons. First, I got people in the store for doing the clinics, entertaining them.
And you bought most of the stuff.
And I bought the gear from the shop. I mean, you know, it's a double win.
Like, hey, let's ask this Thomas guy and let's put out some old vintage amps here and just to, you know.
So he might buy that shit. Yeah. Well, I have always been a bit knowledgeable about stuff, and I was never a collector, but when an amp sounds killer, and that's my that's what I preach all the time. When you find anything, no matter what it costs, of course don't buy a dumble. That's too expensive, no matter what it costs. But if you find a guitar that talks to you, that says, hello, I'm your friend, and then don't care about the brand or the model or whatever. If you have such an instrument, amplifier or whatnot, get it. Because
like this, I mean, this is...
this is my other Les Paul.
There's a reason why I've never played a vintage instrument, even though I've had a chance.
when you're plugged in, whatever, you have a cable you plug.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is 60...
This is 68, somebody told me.
the Strat.
Yes, sure.
That violin.
And okay, you played the clean channel.
I have no idea what I did.
But you
I just
played
felt
music, you know.
Yeah.
And this, okay, I tell you that this guitar is made after a 57 of a friend of mine who is a collector, and this is like the best Les Paul that I know on this planet.
It's
and this one tries to be the same, you know. So I'm learning from that guitar. But okay, wait a minute. I give you a proper sound for a vintage instrument on a Mercury with wait a minute. I give you this here. Try this. So this is the beauty in vintage, okay? Maybe you understand my what is it called? Fetish? Is it English? Fetish is a German word for vintage instruments.
fetish in Finnish.
Yeah, well, so you know what I mean. And for me, you know, now I own this guitar, and it took me some years to bring it to that level. But it's like now I have a Les Paul, and probably if I do a record now, I can use it, because before I never used a Les Paul on a record because all my Les Pauls didn't talk to me. This does. And
This definitely. I mean,
yeah.
it's ugly, but it's
beautiful. Beautiful ugly.
It's because you know, I don't even know what I did. I no idea. When you get in the zone, it just honestly. I guess I played some blues or what, but it's something happened when I did this, like that. Man,
There's something, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, now I have played a vintage guitar. Is there a way to
get that? To be honest,
no. I mean, no. To get back to playing. I mean, my those ESP, they're handmade. They're awesome, but well, there's a reason why these guitars are what they are.
Okay, just for the fun of it, you can play my 56 Les Paul Junior as well. So another vintage guitar. So I mean, this maybe even more your pony, because okay, it's a single coil now. This is a P90. It's one volume and one tone. So this. Oh, okay, vintage. So
these, that's alive. It's
this thing is an animal that is alive. And by the way, Gary Moore played one of those as well. So you know,
yeah,
it makes sense.
What amp did I use, by the way?
I used the Mercury for a moment.
Yeah, these peaks. I mean, it was, well, pretty wild. This is actually probably, you know, the most metal or heavy guitar I've played. This is like it's, you know, noisy, you know, single coil, but it's, yeah, this has a, it's a character. It's like, you know, old Plexi or whatever. This you really don't know what's going to happen. It's just like.
But you know, for me, it's like it's a guy. This guy has something to say. You know, you pick this up, and this guitar is.
Yeah, because I mean, what I did now, I guess I wasn't really playing that technically well or whatever.
Whatever. No,
just got carried away. That's the beauty of that's, you know. I sometimes said that if you have troubles in your life, just, you know, get a Plexi, good. And then
beat it up, and then you're the
world outside will disappear. You are in this bubble, where I guess I was, and you're just in that with the guitar, with the amp, and I mean I've, you know, spent hours in that bubble until usually my wife comes like, "Hey,
hello,
dude," like.
Hey,
shit! You've been doing that like now for 8 hours. It's, you know, it's kind of, you do think you should.
But hey,
really?
Exactly. When I learned the guitar, I learned at 13, and I was at school. When I came home from school, I plugged in the guitar, and I started to play. And the next thing I noticed was it was dark and I was hungry. And this was like 6 hours later.
Yeah.
I was out of the world. And when somebody opens the door, like my sister, it's like,
yeah,
you know, I'm completely, I was gone.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, and today I still have that feeling when I'm on stage.
Yeah, me too. And
escape
with the it's, you know, it's, I guess it's a little bit hard to explain to someone, but I guess many guitar players are watching. You know, probably know what we're talking. But to someone like, you know, like
a normal guy would.
Do you really sit on that bed? You know, like you did, you know, 35 years ago when you were a teenager. You know, just playing. I said, yeah, that's what I do. And I'm like, yeah, but you wouldn't probably pay if you wouldn't have a career. I was like, no, it's not about it. I will play. I play guitar. Period.
And the same for me. When I'm on stage, I feel 16 again.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like I'm you know, and I believe even when I get 70 or whatever, or 60, I can feel that I have the same thing. If you look like some older guys playing like Les Paul, when they smile, even at the age of whatever 80, when they have that thing, it's that energy.
Yeah, because I mean I'm 45, but when I play, I'm 30, 60. I'm there. I guess I'm, you know, I always like that because, you know, sometimes people are, when you're gonna grow up? Well,
no,
hopefully never.
But
that's the I have that passion. It's so. I mean it's man, because it's. I just love playing guitar. It doesn't, you know.
I mean, do you know the Spinal Tap? You know, and there was the end phrase of, you know, what would you do if there wouldn't be any rock and roll, or, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. For me, it's still the music. I was never into any of the other shit. Yeah. You know, I mean, I wasn't. The music is the drug.
Yeah, and because it's. I remember, you know, my father was a little bit, because I was, you know, pretty good at ice hockey, and when I started to really get, and he was kind of like, you know, is this a good career? And I was like, I haven't thought about it. I just love to play. You know, if it is, if it isn't, you know, I might do whatever other jobs or whatever. That's the passion.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that the passion has also become a job. But I worked many years. I've done everything, but it's always, you know, I drove a truck and whatnot, being in the army. But that was just like job. This is passion.
Yeah. But you could use lots of your passion in your life, and that makes, I think, a very fulfilling life.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if I would die next second, I wouldn't regret it, because you know.
Me neither, because I happen to have a vintage Gibson in my hand. So, you know, if, you know, come take me, you know.
Okay, you had a 56.
Okay, and I'm... That was total.
But who cares?
Who cares? But this thing is wild.
Yeah, this is another cool guitar. I have a few of those, but I have my Strats upstairs. But you know, maybe we have another follow-up, because
we'll be talking like
talk out over 2 hours. I think let's. You know what? We do a follow-up some day, somewhere, somehow, because I think there is more to discover.
Yeah, and more to play.
Absolutely. I think we had no time to answer questions. Okay, Thomas.
If there is Kenny, because honestly, I can't see that far.
Yeah, okay, I can see it. Okay, is there liquid water protection on the inside of AMP1? Actually, not really, but try to kill it. We have done our video where we have played soccer with it.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And the amp, hey, we had rehearsals with the same amp, and it's super reliable. I mean, if you want to kill it, you can get it, but it's like try to kill it. It's not that easy. It's like some people try to kill Stratocasters and they hurt themselves very badly. So anyway, but here the point is, we have so many questions. What is next week? I think next week I'll do a Q&A episode where I just concentrate on all the questions, on all the stuff that I couldn't answer now. So sorry guys, this was so exciting. Yeah, we have to do some follow-up one day, and yeah, what a big pleasure to have you here. I'll do all the questions next week, and
we can do a Q&A together. Like, I mean, if it's technically possible for me being in Switzerland, or
we'll figure something out. Yeah, there's more to come, I'm sure. Hey, thanks so much for joining here.
Thanks for
bringing the pedal board, bringing the bad boy. I mean, that's something I have to admit, that has everything, the elegance at the right place. I like it. Wow. So, and yeah, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. See you soon.
Thank you.
And thanks.
And remember, play guitar, enjoy, and have fun.
That's the most important
thing. Have fun. Don't, you know, it's all about, you know, enjoying. You know, who cares if you play wrong or right or whatever. If you're having fun, if it sounds good, it's good.
That's it. Wise words. Okay, cheers guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.